I'm Luke Summerhays.
I'm James J. Miles.
I'm Andrew Rice.
And I'm James the Jaster Stewart.
And you're listening to Monster Mash.
And on this week's episode, regrettably, we hunted the lamadur.
Ugh.
They played the Monster Mash.
A huge elder dragon, massive beyond human comprehension. The only mention of his existence is found in fairy tales, which claim it can warp the very surface of the world and level mountains with a single twitch.
So then try to say the world is flat.
What? No, what?
It can warp the very surface of the world. What?
The world has a surface, it's just round.
That just coming out as a flat earth.
Yeah, it's just not believe in surfaces.
What?
It sounded weird like in the description. Plus, I wanted that description to start off by saying it is a huge slow worm.
And my favourite thing is the fact they just had to go for huge, because there's nothing else worth saying about it. Like, that's it. It's just huge.
It's just
Let's
a huge
move on.
snake, isn't it?
It is a big ass snake.
It's a big
It's
prick.
the biggest monster in the series.
Is it?
Have you just
in
decided
even
this,
other games,
or-
like, they're bigger than it.
So there's some that come close or are bigger in Frontier, but they don't count.
Yeah,
In the real games, it's the biggest.
that's a fan fiction game anyway. So
Explains it why it's the most boring fight in a Monster Hunter game then. Because it's just way too big and it's just not exciting at all.
I think there's
I'm
some.
not convinced it was the most boring.
What?
I enjoyed myself.
Listen to this cunt. What was more boring? Come on.
The fucking Shadow de Oro when he just knocked
Wrong.
him over all the time.
No, Elatron was worse.
But yeah, Elatron didn't do anything. It was just big. It was just. floated there and you hit it.
Oh, no, this is nonsense. This is
But at
upsetting.
least you
Right.
No, Dalla is the one who stands there and fucking does nothing. Alatran actually tries to hit you back. Dalla's just like, oh, I'm just going to stand here and take some damage for a bit, and then maybe later I will do a laser beam halfway through the hunt that might kill you in one hit.
There's some interesting ideas there.
Use your breath there to say that.
Yeah, I wasn't really prepared to go on as long as I did.
I think like there are some interesting ideas there. So, like running up him and then like jumping onto the pillar to get up to his head.
But that's in that. I mean, that's not that. That's just 4 in general. 4 is all about running up things.
Yeah,
Interesting
he's back
idea
to
is,
11.
oh,
that
look,
makes
right,
that
what
an
we're gonna
interesting
do?
fight.
Snake.
Like
What
more
else are we gonna
interesting, I
do?
should say.
Big.
Than,
So when you do it more
Elatron.
than once though, it just gets boring. Like you have to like run up, hit him in the fucking head or like his claw, and then jump back down when he falls over. Like then it's rinse and repeat.
Sure.
I think he was a better way of doing a really, really big monster than Darren Moran, where it's just
No,
you
I
don't
disagree.
really get to
No,
fight
At
him.
least
disagree.
Darren
Don't get to
feels
fight him with the
special.
real- If you
He's
didn't
got
get
your
to fight
boat, you've
him
got
with
your
the real
cannons, you've got
mechanics.
your. Yes, you can. You
Not
can get up
really,
there,
you
you
could
can
with the
start
cannons.
attacking at him. What?
Darren
The
you
The
fight him
biggest
like a
problem with the
proper monster,
Darren
you
is
have to
that
be really
in the
big.
second half of the hunt, we killed him too quickly, so you didn't actually get to do the full sort of fight against him. I'm not saying he's the most interesting thing, but
And yeah,
at least
talk
he
about the
feels
Dalamadur
like
not
an
doing
event.
anything. Darren Moran just walks towards you.
No, I enjoy the Darren
No, but
Moran
that-
much more because like
Darren
they
Moran
made that
gets,
really
like, it gets
cinematic.
really tense if he gets too close to the boat,
Yeah.
and like your boats took a lot of like damage, like and get like really tense, and you need to know and be well organised when to time like the binders and hit the gong
This is
and
it.
stuff like that.
Like fighting a
Well, there's none of that against Lamadur.
Yeah, fighting a Dalla is just like, oh, I'm just going to keep wailing on it for hours, and then maybe he'll do his big attack that might kill someone in one hit. Oh, isn't that brilliant?
So the Dalamadur, like, don't get me wrong, I didn't like the fight. Like, it is down there near the bottom of the fights I've had in the series, but I'm not going to say it's the worst because there's some interesting stuff in there. I just think they were almost too ambitious with the fight.
The concept's good, like on paper.
Yeah.
fine, but it's
Like-
I don't think they execute it well enough.
Just to clarify, it's not my favourite or anything. It is a bit shit. Like, I just
It's a
don't think
lot
it's
of shit.
I just don't think it's as bad as Andy seems to think it is.
Like compare that to like the Elder Dragon like in Generations and Nakarkos. Like Nakarkos is a way better like big monster fight.
And this is the other thing that I
Probably
think we
the
need to
best
point
out of all
out.
the Elder Dragons fight is like the big mystery boss. Of
Yeah,
games.
the other thing that I think we really need to point out is the fact that this is an urgent quest. You literally cannot get to G rank without doing it. And, you know, as the average hunter is going to be in a party of 4, that means you're doing that fucking hunt 4 times. It's irredeemably bad. Like, oh,
Yeah, also, I suppose the fact that that was my first time doing it and will probably be my last time doing it
yes.
has made me a bit more soft on him than you are.
Yep. Like as I was saying, I think this sort of fight would would have worked, I should say, in something like World if they'd reworked it. But I just think on the 3DS they can't get the scale across the way they wanted to,
Mm.
and like all
Oh, I don't know
the
about that. Like,
uh,
he felt big.
yeah, but like I didn't. It just felt frustratingly big. It's not like the sense of scale you'd get like with something like Shadow of the Colossus. Like the big. Have you played it?
I suppose it's because he's in an arena which is, like,
It's
he can't move
cramped.
around.
It
If he
feels
was in a
cramped.
big
Yeah.
world and you were following him and stuff. Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
what you mean there. Yeah, I have played Shadow of the Colossus and I can see
Yeah,
what you're
so I'm
getting
like
at.
thinking like the big desert sand, the one that's in the trailer, the one they showed off at Gamescom, like the big sandworm.
Mm.
Like that is an impressive fight. That feels huge, and I think that would have worked better with Dalmadur than in this cramped little pillar that you have to
Yeah.
scale. And it's the visual of him coiling around. It's neat. Don't get me wrong, but it just felt frustratingly cramped, and I think that's why I was getting pissed off in the latter half, getting hit by the fallen rocks and everything.
Yep.
So, yes, he has a pretty boring fight, but design-wise, he's very cool.
But he's
Oh,
a
yeah.
snake. Come on, like, he is a snake.
But
So, but it's a-
the,
I mean, compare him to the shit. I forgot his name.
Najarala.
Najarala, that's the prick. Like, is he any more interesting than that? Really?
Yeah, 'cause he's really big.
Funny enough, when I was saying aside from, that's the point I was gonna fucking say.
I do like
yeah,
the
but
fact
like
that
they've really leaned into like he's really big, he's really old. He's like a bit like the way that they talk about him, like he's basically a myth. Like no one believes a monster this big could really exist, and then you fight him. And
You wish
apparently, if you get like his weapons, like the great sword, long sword, and sword and shield, tell you like a story of how the Dalmadur created the world.
Hmm.
It's a little
So
bit, Dark Souls.
Dalmadur is God. Cool. I do like the design. I know it's just a big snake, but like it is the elements like the chest cavity, like the glowing red, like it's like harboring this intense mythological power within it. I think that's quite neat.
And it explains it well when he does like the beam attacks. Because you can tell like he's absorbing some sort of energy and then releasing it.
Yeah, he feels like the very definition of an elder dragon. Really
yeah,
big,
like this.
really powerful, like unknowably ancient. Like compared to like a lot of the time Monster Hunter you'll fight, they do such a good job of making them feel like it's just an actual animal. So sure they're like ridiculous and big, but you feel like they're alive and they exist in this world. Whereas Dalmadur feels like alienly like mystical, which is a nice like.
The area as well that you fight him in does feel like it's like you're in like one of the most like deepest, like darkest like caves.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What was I going to say there? The dialogue that the guildmaster gives you as well when you unlock the urgent quest, he really picks up this guy, like really talks about how the Dalmadur is this mythical ancient thing. He thought it's been a myth for years. He's always been searching about it, and then when you defeat it, obviously that being Margent quest, and I got the dialogue, and he properly bigs you up as well. He's like, "You're a legend, mate. You're part of our world's folklore now because you took down the Dalmadur, which people were talking about in the Legends anyway, so they'll talk about you for years to come." So it really bigs him up, which you don't really get to the same extent with a lot of the other Elder Dragons.
Although part of the problem there is like he bigs him up like 2 minutes before you fight him.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
like something like
There's not much
the
foreshadowing,
Shagaru
yeah.
Magala. Like but the whole game is building you up to that fight.
I suppose it's because it's like one of the multiplayer. It's like the
Yeah,
final
it's the
boss of
multiplayer one, and
it's the final boss of high rank, isn't it? So
obviously like a surprise boss or whatever. That's another thing which with World where they've combined single player and multiplayer, they can actually weave their monsters into the story a bit better, I expect. So you won't get something like this turn. It's like
Well,
in like an
everything will be
anime
short,
where
yeah.
like you think they've beaten the biggest, baddest villain ever, and then suddenly, actually, it turns out there's an even bigger, even badder villain that you never heard of until now.
Like five
Just so-
minutes before he turns up, like with
Yeah,
the
just so that
main
Goku can go to yet
characters.
another power level.
And it would be fucking fantastic.
My anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, hun.
So you did mention there is a subspecies, is it?
Yes, the Shah Dalamadur. I just watched the cutscene where you first meet him, and it's pretty cool. They come up to him, and it looks like he's sort of a stone statue, and then it cracks apart, and he comes alive, and he's glowing gold. What would have been cool with that would it be if, like, the frozen one was just in one of the maps the whole time, and then at the end it comes to life. But that's not what they've done, so fucked it.
Fucked it.
That would have been a cool idea. Obviously, I've not fought this guy. I don't know if I ever will, unless he's
Don't.
required.
Just don't. Just don't.
Yeah, I don't think he is required because I don't remember fighting him a whole lot either.
Imagine how shit that last fight was, right? But then imagine just it hits harder. More likely to die.
So all the rocks that were falling on me are going to take half my health rather than a quarter. Great.
Bigger and a different. Well, he's not even bigger, is he? He's just a different colour, and the numbers have been tweaked.
Does he like do a different element at all, or
Don't think so.
is his laser beam just yellow as well?
Honestly, can't remember.
I think he's still got the same colour laser beam, to be honest.
That is. Oh no, I'm looking at some clips. It is red and yellow.
Awesome.
So,
Good.
Just fire.
and he can set the ground on fire with some of its attacks.
But there is some pretty cool stuff in the Dalamadur's name and things.
Oh yeah.
According to, well, I've seen this reported a lot of places. I can't find the original interviews or the proof, but I'm going to take various websites' word for it.
That's how the rumours start.
But the Japanese name, which is Dara Amadura, is from Babylonian words for armor and tower, which is pretty cool because the Babylonians were the first civilization on Earth. So they're referring back to, like, you know, the Dalamadur's very old, like the origins of the world. And they've actually gone back to
The origins of the world, which is indeed flat.
The
Just because they thought it was flat doesn't mean it was.
It's on the Capcom Unity blog.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Good research there, Luke. You looked in all the right places, I'm sure.
Well, because I already found it, so I didn't need to look up the name, did I?
The Unity blog also talks about before they settled on Dalamadur, they came up with some alternate Romanized names.
Like
They
big
went for-
shit.
They went for Big Shit was one of them, but they scrapped that one pretty quick. Yeah, so they went for some alternate Romanized names. They were going to go for Amadula, so kind of like the Amadura part, just Amadula instead. And they also went for, they were going to go for Vashira, which is based on Vasuki, one of the king serpents in Hindu and Buddhist mythology.
I thought that sounded a bit Hindu.
Pretty cool.
Don't
Yeah.
know why.
But then the director came in and said he wanted to stick with the Japanese version of the name, so that they're more close to the Japanese, so they went for Dalamadur to keep it as close as possible to the original.
That is pretty cool. And Shah as well comes from the Persian word, and it means king. And Persian's
We're going
also a
with
very
Shah,
ancient
like-
civilization.
I'd have always thought it was
Shah,
Shah.
Shah.
So is
I'm
that
just saying
confirming
Shah because then
the-
I'm wondering if that's where Shagaru comes from as well.
Yeah, it's
So
got
I'm
an H
kind
on
of
the end, isn't it?
confirming then, since Shah means king, the normal Dalmador is the female.
Oh, that would make sense actually.
That's fancy. I like
Oh, yeah, I
it.
could see that. Female
Yeah,
on the male one.
again, there's more about the Shah on the Unity blog. They talk about the original species kanji name is Jayuryu, which literally translates to snake king dragon, where the subspecies name is Jayatairu, which means snake emperor dragon.
See,
then
this
the-
is it. This is the exact right naming, really, when you think about it, because a shit monster they didn't put any work into, and a shit name they didn't.
Yeah. But the translation team were kicking around some other kind of terms besides Shah. They went for like Tsar, obviously like the Russian
Yeah.
version, but they
I
stuck
know
with
that
Shah.
reference.
They went for Shah because they thought it sounded exotic, and the director agreed.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I was saying was I wonder if, because he's the same sort of gold as the Shagaru Magala, and we couldn't work out where his name comes from, if that's where Shah comes from there as well.
Could be.
But
We will
yes.
never know.
Nope. Because They are famously obtuse. But yeah, the quotes I was going to read out earlier from the Shah lamadur weapons. It says, with the first daybreak, Shah lamadur defined the earth by drawing the horizon. As sunshine came a second time, Shah lamadur created the fields with its feathery rays. Third came twilight, and Shah lamadur parted the golden waves and created land.
Is that a bit like that Norse? Isn't there like a Norse like snake god? that parted the land?
Fuck yeah. No, that's the name of the world tree.
No, not Yggdrasil. Yeah.
Not Yggdrasil. I know what you're on about.
There is a big snake as well, yeah.
I'm just gonna Google big snake. Norse mythology. Let's see what comes up. Big snake, Norse mythology. Oh yeah, Jormungandr. Jormungand.
Obviously, come on.
Yeah.
How could you forget that?
It also is called the Midgard serpent. So yeah, that must be pretty much bang on from Norse mythology then.
That's pretty cool.
Jormungandr's arch enemy is Thor.
See,
little known
guys,
Norse god Thor.
guys with hammers killing big snakes, that's what I'm into.
Taking like 10 points for that lore. You know, that's pretty big for me.
So we probably should be doing Gogmazios at this point because he's the last of the 4U monsters that we haven't done. But G rank is hard to get to, and I don't have enough free time to get to that. I will next month, so there is a high chance of me getting there next month. But until then, we're going to return to some of the double cross monsters that we haven't fought yet. One of which is Barrioff. So join us for that next time.
And if you've enjoyed this nonsense, you can follow us on Twitter at MonsterMashPod. We're also on iTunes and whatever else you use to listen to podcasts. Please give us a rating and subscription. Tell all your friends, rate and review, all of that jazz. And follow your boys on YouTube and Facebook. Search for Monster Mash Podcast. And yeah, just tell your friends. Tell them, oh, these guys are great. They gave us lore. They gave us translations. They said the done monster was shit. And please tweet at AndyMan949 picture of a slow worm.
I was really expecting a picture of your big snake, but that's fine.
We did that literally last episode, so I thought I can't do it.
Listen, I'm
He's done that multiple times on the
Really
cast.
want pictures of people's snakes.
I'm trying
We
to...
pretty regularly ask for dick pics.
All I'm trying to do is
very
facilitate
thinly
Andy's
veiled
need for
metaphors,
dick pics,
so-
right? Facilitate his need for dick pics, and one day it'll happen, and I'll laugh.
I mean, if you want to send Andy a dick pic at AndyMan949, do it anytime you like.
You don't need our permission.
Please don't.
The DMs are open, mate.
I don't know if they are. If they are, I need to close them.
Well, until then, thank you ever so much for listening.
See ya.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening.
Dalmadar.
Dalamador.
Spear tip.
Dalamador.
Oh shit, cutscene.
Oh shit, what are we doing?
Can't be that bad.
One of the worst big monster fights there is.
Narrator,
most
it was
boring-
going to be that bad.
It's the most boring fight Hunter, I think, has.
Big rocks, what the characters
Once again, this is not the fight, this is a cutscene.
It's-
I have no
it's getting me
issues
pumped
with
up.
the cutscene, frankly. And if it is getting you pumped up, then that's misleading.
Oh, look, it's a big...
It's a very big snake.
It's like the...
Oh, he's got an arm.
ants.
Silky sea, lads. Silky sea.
The snake is wrapping around a pillar.
Like the audio description on a film.
Oh, look at its tongue.
The snake looks angrily at the hunters.
It does a roar.
Right, well, what the fuck did we...
Fucking,
Chop it with your swords.
Do we
fucking
beat up the
nothing.
snake?
Might as well do
Oh, we got to
fucking
climb onto it.
nothing.
Oh, fuck.
We can climb onto it, we don't have to.
Well, I'm
Well,
awake.
the red arrows were there
I'm on
initially
it.
and they're gone.
Oh, I'm on
so-
the snake! Right, here I fuck go. I'm going up the
I'm
snake.
on a
you're on the
snake,
pillar, G.
motherfucker, on a
I'm on the
snake.
snake. Do I just climb up to its head? Is that what I do? Whoa, it's rocking me off.
Oh, he's wiggling about.
Oh,
you
fall!
dick.
I fell through the snake. That was bullshit.
Yeah, it's a shit game.
So what are you meant to do? You meant to like
Capcom need to get their fucking act together. That's what they need to
You
do.
can get up to his head, like, and
No, it's
jump
not
on
cold.
his head
It's
as
just
well.
that the
Fuck,
floor
it's
Can you
down
attack?
the bottom
Can you
hurts.
attack it? Oh no, you bounce off.
You can attack
Can
it quite a
attack
few.
I was bouncing off it, so
It's not
Not
those
good
shit
look.
weapons then, you dick.
that's not looking good. I don't even see what it's doing.
It's just being a big snaky prick, isn't it?
Yeah,
Sorry,
we're
we
lying
might get
at
to
this
attack
shit.
it at some point.
Well, I got dropped down to the bottom, so that's fun.
Oh, so this bit's exciting because you get to attack its claws.
I can't even see. I just fell down at the bottom. The
Make
fuck
sure
is
you
going
hit
on?
its big hands, everybody!
Looks cool, doesn't he?
Yeah, I just can't see him through the fucking loathing that I
I
have for him.
think they were a little bit.
Oh, he's paralysed. You know he?
Yeah, old snake.
Every snake ever.
Oh, his
Grass
big
snakes-
head's falling down. I'm gonna attack his
Grass
big
snakes are well known for being
Well, I've
paranoid.
been doing jumping attacks on his head anyway.
Nice. Look here. I think those are spikes, Andy.
Oh, he got me with his tongue.
Spikes, tits, what's the difference?
I'm bouncing.
Didn't you hear that Andy's dating Madonna?
What?
Spiky
Shut up.
tits.
Spiky tits thing, didn't she?
Classic. I don't get what
No,
you mean. Like,
I thought you said snaky tits.
Oh. I believe in you. I do not believe in Luke,
Yes.
who jumped far too soon.
Oh, that's where I need to jump.
yeah, and there's more vines to climb as well.
Yeah, I missed that before.
You can actually just keep climbing up.
I tried. The
No, yeah, but like that's because you can just listen.
right now what? Now I just jump on his head. Well, we've
I
got some.
did one
Yeah,
long
when he
combo
said
all the way through his head.
Oh, he's now angry.
Because you break them.
Can we climb back on him here?
Away.
Oh, no.
Oh, that looks like a laser or a bomb or something. Shut up!
Shouldn't have told him earlier, look, that now he's just going to sing all the time. That's his contribution.
I mean,
That's always been Andy's only contribution.
But now he knows it.
Oh, he's got a weird, like, earwiggy back end.
a tail, I believe is what they call it.
I mean, the very end bit of his tail. Oh, he has got spiky boobs, hasn't he?
Snake.
Oh shit, that was not a good time to use my whetstone.
Like it was
Oh no, he just done a raw. No, it's me and Jay attacking his claws. Stop trying to take the glory.
Fuck you then. Sorry, I'll do nothing.
It'll make a change for you in Monster Mash, wouldn't it, mate?
Could have
Fuck off, you want to watch Justice League.
Bit of this shit.
Ooh, I wonder what will happen. Will Superman be in it? That would be a twist.
Just to see it.
But it's just there, right?
Yeah, if you, until you break his chest, that does constant damage.
Snakes piss. I'm assuming that snakes.
Yeah, they piss and fart and do all the stuff we do.
Oh, on my screen there, you totally missed that. You just
Oh
like,
yeah,
sent
it
off the
did
cliff.
look a lot like I fucked it up.
I don't like that it gives you a big fucking 3 polygon arrow to show you where to go.
Well, they
It's
did
nice.
that. Oh, wait, what can you collect on his head? Oh
Yeah,
shit!
they do that for the Dazzler
Oh,
as well.
he knocked him down that time.
Did you not have an
Me,
issue?
I'm still climbing up.
It's with the
He's
carve
not,
his
he's not
head.
knocked down, he's just still moving.
He
He's
fucking
not
moved
down.
his head.
He just moved a bit.
Yeah, he just.
Get on, mate, he's an animal, he's not a fucking statue.
But he moved when I was on his head. He's not allowed to do that. If he's not played Shadow.
Oh, yeah. I think he just does that when you go in the head.
Yeah, like you do like 2 attacks and that sort of makes him sort of stagger. Because, you
Well,
know,
I'm up here now.
funny enough.
Can I get on his
Funny
head?
enough, when someone hits you in the head, you don't stand there and go, oh yeah, that's alright. You can just keep hitting me in the head, it's fine, it's fine.
You do if you're a well-hard bald man.
Is that what you do?
That's absolutely not what I do now. I've got less defense, if anything. I've got no hair.
Oh, God.
You just said a second ago that's not true for bald men. They all have no hair, you
I
fucking...
know. I was
For a second
erroneous.
You forgot the bit that, like, unites bald men.
No, but also we're all well-hard.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, it's not hard unless Luke thinks twice!
Look, go and just stay in the camp. How are you dying to that? I got hit by that, but survived. Oh, wait, no, I might die here. Fuck. You're doing it again.
That's why you jump through it, mate. That's why you jump through it. How could you miss the giant fucking snake, mate?
Quite large.
But stay up here, really.
Put
He's
it on
dropping
me.
like
You
fireballs.
fucking putting it on me! Because you're doing such a fantastic job.
That's
Did,
nice
what
chunk of
did?
damage.
At no point did I say it was because of your fame. I'm saying it's because of your shite weapons.
Mine's shite.
Did your mum say it was alright?
No, but the,
Oh well.
Oh, just 'cause he's trying to sell it to
he
you.
sold it to me
Swirly
for a very
sauce.
good deal. Said very good weapon, sir.
I'm at a high price. Excuse me. What the fuck's going on here? Why am I being assaulted by my teammates?
Make me want to play tights. It's in the advert. but a special version where it fucking sings about robots.
Bastard.
There's no.
It's a face.
Yeah, but it's boring though. Like just
See
staying
also
by his head the
his
whole
chest, his shoulder.
Welcome
shit,
to
he's
being a
like
hammer
his
user.
tail.
He's doing
He's got lots of area.
Good luck trying to reach the fucking head with a hammer when it's in.
You're nuking me and just knocking me into his...
That's what Kim Jong Un's going to be saying when Trump's done with him.
Oh shit. Dive!
I think I might have
It's
broken
like, yeah.
shoulder blades. Okay, right into the depths. Fun quest art, guys. Fun quest, yeah. We'll see why I suggested this would be the most fun we could possibly have. Well,
I mean,
fuck off.
it's enjoyable once.
Just
Like, I'm enjoying it this time. I can imagine it's annoying over and over.
well, yeah, it's a fucking
But he is
urgent
really
quest.
big, isn't
You
he?
have to fucking do it over and over.
But you know, he's really big, so it's fun.
Big equals fun.
Good seeing a big snake, isn't it? You wouldn't want to go to the zoo and see a little snake.
I mean, it depends how little. If it's really small, that could be quite interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, you can just find slow worms in the garden, can't you?
I mean, worms and snakes are different. Aren't they?
Slow worms, though. They're the little snakes what you get in England.
Why are they called slow?
I don't
They're
fucking
slow.
know.
Like worms.
Yeah. A snake's just a scaly worm, isn't it?
And
Well,
James
this-
Jones-
Read his book, Andy.
Well, this explains my fucking confusion, because if you're going to call it a fucking worm, it better be a fucking worm.
Well, I think it predates snakes having a name.
Well, I just looked at it and went, oh yeah, that's a worm, innit? Worm.
Snakes were...
Yeah, wait,
I was going to
because
say,
the
is
Bible
that a
was
slow
written-
worm in the
surely
Bible
snakes
then?
are older than fucking worms.
Oh, I'm...
We have worms everywhere.
Worms? Yeah, I guess so. Underground, innit? So they can go anywhere. They can just go all the way under the ocean.
Wait, you'll get like shit like tapeworm. Oh god, I need...
Imagine they
Yeah,
didn't
but,
have
like-
worms where you lived and then you saw a worm.
I know, that's it, that's what I'm thinking. Like, you're just like some American or something, you come over to the
They definitely have. They
UK.
definitely have them in America,
Well-
Andy.
You know, not necessarily American, but you know. There we go. That's the 20-minute mark. Anyone remember the last time we exceeded 20 minutes?
We were fighting fucking that one that we couldn't even remember before, and I can't remember it again.
Alatreon? Amatsu?
Yeah. Alatrion. Amatsu, I like.
I don't remember Amatsu. Actually, I remember Alatreon because I've fought him.
Amatsu flies and it storms. It has
Amatsu
its
I
own
fought
music.
once.
Oh, the fucking nukes! Again! Oh!
Oh, is this
hunt,
what
man,
you
this
were talking
fucking
about
hunt.
with Kim Jong? I didn't actually hear him say about the nukes before.
Oh yeah.
Got Shattered Omen, that's...
Oh, he nuked me.
You were sitting down!
Oh god.
Happening.
Same.
Yes!
Hey! Thank fuck we're never fighting this prick again!
Where
So he turns up in World.
fuck do you carbon?
Fucking gets it in world.
Oh,
I'm
carbon.
sailing that game straight away.
He does a
Straight
bit.
back to the game shop.